The Buffalo Bills dominated the Tennessee Titans on Monday night, and they did it with complimentary football. The defense prioritized shutting down running back Derrick Henry. The defense tackled well, played downhill, and stopped Henry before he could get going. They only missed 4 tackles the entire night, and everyone pitched in to hold Derrick Henry to 13 carries for 25 yards. The sound run defense put the Titans into several third and long situations, which isn't ideal when you consider how that offense is built. As the Titans looked for some semblance of a modern offense, the Bills' high-flying offense put the points on the board and forced the Titans out of their run-heavy game plan, which relegated Henry to the bench for the entire fourth quarter. So let's dive into the film to show you how the Bills stole the crown from King Henry. First and 10 situation with the ball on the 39-yard line. The Bills are already up 7-0, so the Titans on their first drive are in 12 personnel. They align in a trip set to the top of the screen, motion that tight end in, and try running inside zone. But Derrick Henry hits a brick wall known as Jordan Phillips, tries bouncing out to his right, but the Bills shut it down. Now, I want you to take a look at this defensive alignment, this structure. The strength of the formation looks to be designated as the right side here with the tight end in line. So they have their 3 or 4 eye technique, Daquan Jones, aligned right here. So that's fine. But typically, the nose tackle would then be shaded off the center or at his widest alignment, just inside the guard here in a G front. So it'd be more of like a nickel G front. But as you can see, the Bills have essentially a wide 3-4 eye to the left and then a 3 technique to the weak side of the formation. And Milano's playing stacked over this A gap. So this alignment is not typical for the Bills. But what it does is really box Derrick Henry in. Typically, this inside zone run is going to want to cut back right here behind Jordan Phillips. But he is not able to because Phillips plays with a really strong right hand right here, occupies that offensive lineman, and both of those offensive linemen. You got backside pursuit from Miller and Edmonds. Daquan Jones is stacking right here and just peeking in the hole, and it just boxes Derrick Henry in, and it makes him run right up the back of his blockers and then look to bounce. So they took away the cut that Derrick Henry is so used to making, this one cut, get downhill cut behind Jordan Phillips. They force him to bounce, and that's when the Bills rally. And 10 here, first quarter, Bills still up 7-0 with the ball on the 11-yard line. So the Titans are driving. You see them in a tight, condensed set, and they try to do that so that they can get Derrick Henry on the perimeter with a pitch, but the Bills shut it down. Really good tackling by Christian Benford on this play. Good job of stringing the play wide and really containing it so that Derrick Henry can't get outside on this toss. And Von Miller to start really blows this play up. So this is a crack toss. So that wide receiver or that offensive player is supposed to crack down on Von Miller so that this guy can get out in front. The Bills run this all the time, and they're going to try to outmaneuver and out-leverage the Bills' perimeter players, get out on the edge with numbers to block up for Derrick Henry. But watch Von Miller. Yes, he gets blocked and taken out of play, but he gets a piece of that tackle, and that allows Matt Milano to attack downhill, but also leverage it this way. Benford just has to contain this play. That's his main priority on this. Keep that run inside. So you see Milano leveraging. You see Benford containing, taking on that blocker. Milano does a great job. You can see he seals this play inside. So Henry is trying to set up a block, goes for the bounce instead of the cutback, which is probably a smart move. But because Benford stayed home, stayed on his feet, he's able to make the tackle on Derrick Henry. Getting Derrick Henry running east and west versus one cut and downhill is a win for any defense, and the Bills did this consistently all night. The score is now 7-7, 1:18 on the clock, end of the first quarter. It's the first play of the Titans' second drive, first and 10 situation, and they come back to that 12 personnel trips set with Derrick Henry in shotgun, and this time instead of running inside zone, they run a counter tray, and they get 4 yards on this play, but much like the last play, if you're going to be in the Bills defense as a corner, you better be able to tackle. And we all know that Taron Johnson isn't afraid to stick his nose in the box here. He brings Derrick Henry down. It's a 4-yard gain, but still a very good stop for the Bills. That's minimizing a run that probably could have been an even bigger run here if Taron Johnson doesn't fill. Either way, you're seeing how everyone is rallying to the ball. Watch Von Miller on the backside here. Watch him work around the blocks as they're pulling the backside guard and tight end. Look at him work around that block and just slow Derrick Henry down. Force him up inside. That was the main thing. He comes from the outside, forces Henry up inside. Milano's sitting right there waiting for that tight end. And the Bills just do a good job of surrounding Derrick Henry from all sides. And then it's Taron Johnson who's not afraid to go make the tackle on the big running back. First and 10 situation here, top of the second quarter, same drive by the Titans. So they flip the field and bring out 12 personnel and try running a play action pass, but Tremaine Edmunds sold out on this play, much like the Bills defense had for most of the night. They wanted to sell out to stop the run. The Titans are trying to use that mentality against the Bills here with a play action pass with their wide receivers going deep with the Bills showing a single high safety look. They brought Micah Hyde down into the box showing a run blitz, and Tremaine Edmunds just with one hell of a read on this play. I want you to watch Tremaine Edmunds here as he fires his gun downhill to bring down Tannehill. Everything he sees in front of him looks like a run play. So on the snap, he sees his assignment. This is his assignment, number 87. In pass coverage, he would have him man to man. 87 fires out low pads, low helmet. That looks like run. He probably hears run as the offensive linemen are engaging the defensive linemen here of the Bills. That right tackles him and coming down. So right now, he is thinking run. So he comes downhill, and it essentially turns into a hug rush. His assignment, his tight end, blocked. So now he has the green light to insert as a pass rusher. And before Tannehill can set his feet to throw the ball down the field, Tremaine Edmunds is on him. Just really good recognition and trigger finger on this play from Tremaine Edmunds. He's able to bring down Ryan Tannehill for the sack to put the Titans behind the chains. All right, this is the very next play. Now, it's not a run by Henry, but what the Bills did on this play really encompasses how they decided to attack and shut down the outside zone and mid-zone run game of the Titans. So watch Milano and Epinesa, who I have circled, and the communication that happens prior to the snap, but the execution post-snap. You see the alignment by Epinesa outside the left tackle, but on the snap, you're going to see him slant inside, and Milano plays over the top. Here it is from the end zone angle. You see the communication there. So on the snap, Epinesa is reading the blocking and footwork of these offensive linemen, and to him, he immediately senses zone run at him. So what he does is execute a gap exchange. He is going to disrupt this zone blocking. All these guys are all stepping to the same direction, working in unison, staying on track. He's going to disrupt that by slanting into the B gap. So even though he started in the C gap out wide, he's slanting inside to occupy and disrupt. And that allows Milano to quickly read the track of this running back and then play over the top before this combination block can unfold to the second level here. And so it really disrupts the blocking of the Titans here. And even though Milano gets outside right there and he gets swallowed up by the left tackle, who makes the tackle? Epinesa makes the tackle because that combination block has to dissipate and unfold. And now because he's slanted inside, he's got leverage on the left guard. He's able to box that in and bring that running back down. Just something the Bills did all day, and we haven't seen it in a few years. The Bills love to bust out these gap exchanges, especially to the weak side of the formation, against teams that like to run outside zone and mid zone, like the Titans do. Situation 13-12 on the clock in the second quarter. The game is still tied 7-7. Ball on the 46-yard line, and this is a play where Matt Milano fires his gun to disrupt this toss to Derrick Henry, and you see Edmunds come in and clean up. This is a play that the Titans ran, but a play that the Patriots crushed the Bills with in Buffalo last year. The Bills could not stop this play. It's just a down block by the tight end, and you're getting this tackle out into space. And towards the end of that Patriots game, when the Patriots were driving, the Bills had a timeout, and I remember Sean McDermott talking to Matt Milano and telling him, hey, don't worry about gap integrity. essentially shoot the gap, blow the play up like he does here. And honestly, the Bills were ready for this. You see it, 22 personnel, tight personnel grouping and alignment. And as that tackle vacates, Milano shoots that gap. That fullback is forced to take on that block. But you see that also forces Derrick Henry to bubble. But watch Tremaine Edmonds get downhill. And then as he's about to make contact with Henry, you know what's coming from the big running back. That stiff arm. There's the stiff arm. Watch Tremaine Edmonds smack that down. He chops it down with his left hand to bring down Edmonds. He even looks to try to punch the ball out as he's wrapping with that left hand on the backside there too. So really good work from the Bills run defense in this game, especially on plays that wanted to get Derrick Henry on the perimeter. Matt Milano and those defensive ends and Tremaine Edmonds did a great job of stringing them wide and then bringing down the big running back. This play, I could watch this several times. It's just really good work and really encompasses Matt Milano and Tremaine Edmonds. Milano is always the disruptor, and then you have Tremaine Edmonds as that safety blanket, the guy with the range and length to wrap up big running backs like Derrick Henry. Still in the second quarter, 6:59 on the clock. 2nd and 7 situation. Bills are now up 10-7. And we watched that play by Epinesa a couple plays back where him and Milano were communicating and executing that gap exchange. Well, you're going to see a similar play here by Von Miller as the Titans look to pitch it out to Derrick Henry, and Miller blows this play up. Really nice read by Von Miller. Look how wide he is. He's outside the tight end here, but on the snap, it's the same thing. It's zone blocking to the left side here, or the defense's right. And it's an easy read for him. Even though he's aligned outside, once he sees zone coming at him, he can work in whatever fashion he wants into this C gap. And you see how fluid Miller is on that double swipe on that tight end. Puts him right in the C gap. There's no way that left tackle is able to pick him up. You can see how that disrupts the blocking scheme, allows the linebackers to fast flow and scrape over the top. These type of exchanges and run stunts where you're slanting DNs and D tackles inside, like you see Jordan Phillips and Miller do here, and allowing the rangy linebackers of the Bills to play over the top and string it wide. This can make life hell for offensive coordinators, offensive line coaches, and running backs like Derrick Henry. He cannot get going here because Von Miller shoots that C gap, does a great job of penetrating into the backfield and bringing Henry down for a 4-yard loss. And that's what the Bills did all day. They shut down Derrick Henry and the Titans run game, and that forced them into these 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10 situations and really put them behind the 8 ball here. This is not the type of offense that likes to just run drop back passes. And you can see that tackle for loss led to this 3rd and 10, and that allows the Bills to play those 2 high shells, their quarter coverages, their Tampa 2 and cover 2 coverages, and defend deep, force these checkdowns and throws underneath, then rally and tackle. That's why stopping the run versus Titans was so important. Those run stops put the Titans behind the chains. It put them behind the 8 ball on the scoreboard. The Bills are now leading 17-7. The Titans take the ball back with a minute left in the first half. This is a 1st and 10 situation, and the Bills just play their game. Show single high prior to the snap. As the ball is about to be snapped, spin into their quarters. Look, you see high dropping there. They're playing quarters, and they have Rousseau and Miller to the left side of the Titans offensive line collapse the pocket there. Look at Gregory Rousseau collapse this pocket. The length, the hand usage, and then the power. Look at how the depth of this pocket disintegrates because of the power of Gregory Rousseau. That's what the Bills want to do. Get teams into these obvious passing situations. This one was more towards the end of the half on 1st down, but unleash their pass rushers from inside and outside. So the Bills do a good job of disguising this rush here. They show several guys up near the line of scrimmage, especially the linebackers. Those guys are up near the defensive linemen, really showing as if they're going to come, but they drop out, and the Bills show a different look. So they have Daquan Jones right here, Jordan Phillips at defensive end, Gregory Rousseau, 4-eye technique inside the left tackle, and then a wide alignment from Von Miller. The Titans do a partial slide, so these three slide to the right. So you have one-on-one right here, Groot and Von Miller, and after the hezzy rush, you see Rousseau convert to power, but everyone is using power moves. They're not only collapsing the pocket from the outside, so they're bringing these edges in with, defensive tackle Jordan Phillips and then defensive end Von Miller, but they're also trying to collapse from the inside out. And this is important because Tannehill has burned the Bills by getting outside contained, getting outside of the pocket and making plays, and you don't want him to do that towards the end of the first half. So the Bills use some power rushers and power moves to collapse a pocket, to collapse the width and the depth of the pocket on this play, and it's Rousseau who wins his one-on-one rush against the left guard Brewer for the sack on Tannehill. All right, top of the third quarter, 1st and 10 situation. Titans' first drive coming out of the half. They have that 12 personnel trips look, bring that tight end in again, and here comes that counter trade to the top of the screen. The Bills minimize it to a 3.5-yard gain or so on this play. Everyone's getting involved. Corners, safeties, defensive ends, they're all getting involved at stopping Derrick Henry. You see them run the counter tray. Here comes Groot. Here comes Hyde down into the box with the tight end coming into the formation. They come downhill, and they're able to stop that cutback by Derrick Henry. Again, minimizing the run game by Derrick Henry. Less than 4 yards gained on this play. So here's the very next play. This is a 2nd and 7 situation. The Bills are in man coverage, and look at the posture and eyes of the defenders of the Bills. It looks like man coverage. You can see they're aligned like it's man coverage, and that's important when we talk about defending the run on Derrick Henry, especially when you add Jordan Poyer into the box because he has a tight end. He's the guy that makes the tackle for loss on Derrick Henry. Look at this read. We saw Tremaine Edmonds do it earlier. Read the tight end. That tight end goes to block Gregory Rousseau. Well, guess what? Time to trigger and get downhill to stop Derrick Henry before he gets going. You can see Poyer click and close on Henry. That's the type of read and processing that you want from your defenders when you're trying to, as a unit, stop the running back, Derrick Henry, the force, Derrick Henry. And you see Jordan Poyer steal the crown on this play. So you shut down Derrick Henry on 1st and 2nd down. You force the Titans and Ryan Tannehill into a 3rd and 7 situation. Now you can do what you want as a defensive coordinator. And Leslie Frazier calls press man coverage. He pressures Ryan Tannehill with several pass rushers here. He drops into one lurk. So the safety is dropping into the middle of the field as a robber. Micah Hyde's getting deep as that deep post safety. And it's just tight coverage across the field. Nothing is developed here. The Bills have the defenders now to run more man coverage. As you see here, there's really no one open. The only shot Tannehill really has is this prayer right here on a slot fade versus Taron Johnson with Hyde over the top. That's a low percentage pass right there. And luckily the Bills aren't called for a late hit or unnecessary roughness call right there. But this is what the Bills want to be able to do. Stop the run. Stop the run when teams have guys like Derrick Henry. They did a good job of slowing down Henry, minimizing his gains, and putting the Titans into these passing situations where they have to push the ball down the field, and they don't have the weapons to beat the Bills' scheme or personnel. 2nd and 10 situation where we're still in the third quarter, 10:07 on the clock. The Bills now are up 24-7. And in this quarter, the Titans ran Derrick Henry 5 times for 13 yards, and his longest in the quarter was 8 yards. So the Bills did a good job also in this quarter of shutting him down. You're going to watch Gregory Rousseau to the top of the screen just avoid the kick-out block from the right guard, and he's able to make a play in the backfield and bring down Derrick Henry for the loss. And look at the depth that Henry is at. This is typical for them. They usually align him that deep. But also the width of Rousseau. There's no way Davis is going to kick out Rousseau on this play, and how wide he is and the angle that Rousseau has with how deep Derrick Henry is. It's easy for him to just charge that mesh and that handoff, and that's what he does. He gets inside that kick out block from Davis, He's way too deep already. He's able to bring down Derrick Henry for the loss here. So the wide alignment, along with the depth that Derrick Henry is set at, really allowed Rousseau to bring down Derrick Henry. Look at this bubble right here. This is what the Titans were trying to attack, but because of the width by Rousseau and the depth that Henry is executing that jab step for the counter trade to come across this slow developing run play, there's no way that guard is going to be able to get to the width and depth of Rousseau. He's able to avoid that block and then wrap up, more importantly, wrap up the big running back with his length and wingspan. So 3rd and 12 on that same drive in the third quarter, and this is where the Bills want to be. They want to be able to get teams in 3rd and long and then disguise their coverage and spin into something else and pressure the quarterback with 4 pass rushers. This is the ideal situation for the Bills defense. I love the disguise here too. So you initially see a single high look, and then post-snap, Poyer spins to the top of the screen. Taron Johnson becomes a half-field defender. Micah Hyde drops into the middle into a Tampa 2 look. Here are your hook to curl defenders, your wall defenders, and Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano. And you see them spin to a Tampa 2 look there. Really nice look. And it's the pass rusher, Jordan Phillips, who gets the hit on Ryan Tannehill to prevent this big pass down the field. Here it is from the end zone angle. Look at the personnel on this play. So to the right of the screen, you have Rousseau and Jordan Phillips at defensive end. You have Daquan Jones and then Von Miller off to the left here. And so watch what the Bills do. So Rousseau's going with power. He's trying to attack this B gap and penetrate up the field. Much like you saw prior to the end of the half, you wanted to see that power move and for this tackle to kind of help the guard right there. And that's exactly what happens. So as that pass off happens, Jordan Phillips spins inside. He loops inside, closes, and then gets a nice hit on the quarterback as Tannehill is releasing it. So the Bills were trying to use something that worked in the first half in a different manner in the second half. They're trying to get Rousseau to penetrate upfield, get that help from that left tackle, which they do. And then Jordan Phillips times it perfectly as that tackle is going to help. And that guard is fully engaged with Rousseau. He loops inside for the big hit, forcing the incompletion. In the third quarter, 7:32 on the clock. 1st and 5 situation after the penalty. 1st and 5, and the Titans once again try running Derrick Henry, this time with a duo concept. They bring Robert Woods into the formation, and he's coming downhill. And you can see everyone gap out inside, and they want Derrick Henry to bounce it outside here, get him one-on-one with a corner. And as I said at the beginning of this breakdown, all of the Bills defenders were needed to stop Derrick Henry, including rookie Kaiir Elam. He comes down from depth to make the tackle on Derrick Henry before he can get going. This was really just the theme for the day. Everyone got involved. Everyone's eyes were on the ball when Derrick Henry would take a handoff, and everyone played downhill. Linebackers, safeties, corners, everyone played downhill, and they gapped out and sold out to stop the run. Everyone gaps out. You see Von Miller, Taron Johnson come downhill. Everyone's eyes are in their gaps. There's really nowhere to go. Here's the bounce outside from Derrick Henry. He obviously is not at full speed yet. Kaiir Elam attacks the line of scrimmage, attacks the ball, and wraps up the ball carrier, Derrick Henry, to minimize the gain. On to the final play of this breakdown. The very next play, it's a 2nd and 2 situation, so only a 3-yard gain by Henry on the last run. With a 2nd and short situation, you're going to see the Titans try to execute some play action, but Tremaine Edmonds makes one of the better plays of his career by reaching out, getting a piece of that ball, deflecting it, and in the end, Poyer intercepts it on the back end. Just great work by the Bills defense and linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. So with this motion across the formation, the Bills typically spin the safety down and usually run cover 3. So this appears to be cover 3. I know it doesn't look like it, but you have your 4 underneath defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these guys, the corners, are playing their deep thirds, and then you have a post safety. So this is actually cover 3, which means that after the play action fake, as this crosser, Robert Woods, is coming across, really, Milano should be expanding here, but Tremaine Edmonds does a great job of what we call roboting. He comes downhill initially, fits into his run gap, realizes that he needs to turn and find the nearest threat. That guy is Robert Woods, and he just runs with him. He doesn't peel off expecting Milano to get into his hook to curl zone. He stays with him, and he's able to get a piece of the ball, and it's deflected. Hyde gets a piece of it, and in the end, Poyer gets the interception. Stopping Derrick Henry on early downs was the key to this game. The Bills stopped him on first and second down. They got the Titans behind schedule and off track into third and long plays where they had to push the ball down the field. And it allowed the defense to make plays all day. It allowed them to rush 4 and play coverage. And this play really just sums up how well the defense played, including the play from Tremaine Edmonds, one of his better games as a pro. So watch what he's processing here. They pull the left guard. He and Milano have to bump right to left here. They're selling run. Boom. Now they're transitioning to pass coverage. Watch Tremaine Edmonds' robot right there. He finds the nearest threat. That guy is Woods. He's running the over. And just look at the range that he shows on this play. He is starting near the left hash and then getting to full gear to get underneath that route from Robert Woods. Tannehill does a good job of kind of moving Milano right here, right there, as he pats the ball and looks to throw. Watch what that does to Milano, kind of keeps him on this hash. This is just great recognition and processing from Tremaine Edmonds. Milano's not in position to make a play on this ball. Edmonds stays with Woods the entire play, gets a piece of that ball. It ricochets off the hands of Hyde and into the hands of Poyer. Just great work from the Bills defense all day. The Bills defense only missed 4 tackles all night. That was the key to the entire game. They shut down Henry on early downs. They got the Titans into third and long situations. And more importantly, they got up on the scoreboard. Getting up big against the Titans offense, who struggles to push the ball down the field because of the lack of weapons, really worked in the favor of the Bills. They started fast. They got up on the scoreboard. They tackled well. And that led to a big win at home on Monday Night Football. Thanks for tuning in to this breakdown. If you guys appreciated that breakdown, make sure to subscribe to the Cover One YouTube channel. But more importantly, get to the cover1.football website to become an insider. If you sign up for our One Pass subscription on the cover1.football website, you're going to get a lot of content, behind the scenes type content, scheme and player breakdowns, scouting reports. You're going to have access to the Slack channel, our Cover One community, where we talk football all day, every day. And you're going to get access to our contributors. You're able to engage with them on a daily basis all day. And there's a lot of things that we're going to be putting out to our insiders throughout the season. So if you appreciated this content, this breakdown, you're going to get even more as an insider. So make your play for $57 for the year for all of the content that we provide to our insiders. And thank you again for joining me in the film room.